Good morning. Hello. Welcome to this week's edition of Coffee Chat with me, Catherine Oster. Hi. I'm just playing around with lighting. I love doing these outside. There we go. Well, I can. And the sun changes as we go along. There, that's really good. And so I'm just playing around with lighting. So I don't have a lot of shadows, but you can still kind of see the beautiful tops of the trees behind me. Good morning, Carmen. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Friday morning coffee chat. And yeah, it's September 2nd here in real time, and you can hear the geese. The geese are flying around. Good morning, Robert. Hello. So, hey, Tanya, on Coffee Chat today. Loretta, hi again. Thank you for showing up. Megan, hi again. This week's Coffee Chat topic is this one time when I was wrong. I'm going to talk to you about this one time when I was wrong. Good morning, Shauna. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Good morning, Mom. So good. Before I start, I want to show you this really cool coffee cup. So I got this as a gift for judging the 4-H Club record books. And it's made by Alexis Fink. It is a local lady. She lives near Paradise Hill, and she makes pottery. And we sell some of her stuff at the Paradise Hill Ranch in Western Wear. And so I got this as a gift. It's really cool. I love, there's the stuff inside of it. That's awesome. Oh yeah, and this stuff inside coffee is really good too. Loretta, I know this is her second time seeing my cup. Anyway, okay. Well, I just want to tell you, good morning, Karen. I am choosing something in my life that if somebody would have told me would be so 15 months ago, I would tell them that they were crazy. Actually, if they told me so a year ago, I would tell them that they were crazy. Hi, Marilyn. We're choosing to do distance learning with our kids again this year, and I'm actually excited about it. I was the crazy mom. Oh, about me being wrong. I know. This one time that I was wrong. Anyway, I was the mom who loved sending her kids to school. It was so great. They were gone. I could relax. I could have the house to myself. It was peaceful. And I was the mom who, when the bus wasn't running at minus 45 degrees Celsius, but school was still open, I would have my vehicle plugged in and I would be driving my kids to school no matter what. Good morning, Ross. Because I just needed them to be gone. Now, there's no resistance and reaction in this at all. I don't know if you can perceive that energy. I was in so much resistance and reaction to actually having my kids around. But it's different now. This is actually one of the gifts that COVID gave us. Good morning, Dad. I actually enjoy my kids now. I enjoy having them. I did not enjoy having them before, and I didn't even really want to look at that. I mean, of course it brings up all the judgments. What kind of mother doesn't want to be around her kids? It was me. I'm a bad mom. Oh, so everything that brings up, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Oh yeah. Okay, Ross is alone all the time, but he doesn't know how to use it productively. One question I could give you, if you were a person that is alone all the time and you have a lot of space, ask, what would I like my life to be like? Ask that question. What would I like my life to be like? And what would be fun for me? those are extremely generative questions that when you start asking them, they're going to, they're going to create something. What would I like my life to be like? That. Ask that question, Ross, and then come on later next week and let me know if anything, if you like, but don't answer it. That's the thing with these questions. You don't answer them. You ask them, and then you see what starts to show up. What would I like my life to be like? And another really great question, what are all the other ways that money and cash can show up for me? You know, I'm assuming Russ is alone because he's working away. Like, what are the other ways that money and cash can show up in my life? Good morning, Carol. So those, Ross, that's your homework. Thank you for asking. Anyway, so I was that mom who just wanted to be alone all the time. And then last year with school and the masking mandates in the classrooms, and I mean, I have a job. I don't go to work every day, but I teach lessons. I do horse training. I do online classes. I facilitate some live classes. Like I have the ability to, I don't have to be away every day from 9 to 5. So we have this different flexibility in our lives that allows us to have more choice. And Travis, you know, we grain farm and he's around sometime, blah, blah, blah. We can include our kids. So we chose not to send them to school last year simply because of the masking mandates. Like, I wouldn't want to be wearing a mask all day, and it was making my kids uncomfortable, and they didn't want to. So, okay, cool. We're going to make a different choice. Well, I didn't actually realize what that choice would end up creating. And what we really love about homeschooling, distance learning. I'm going to call it distance learning because, anyway, the freedom was so good. Like, so good. Like, we didn't have to be back for school on Monday. The kids didn't have to go to bed early. We didn't have to rush home to get them to bed early so they could wake up and go to school the next day. Like, that freedom was so good, actually. And Trace and Helena are at really good ages right now. Trace is 12 and Helena's 9. And Helena's very mature for her age, actually. And Trace they're both really great kids. But it took us a little bit to get there. Like, the first month last year when we did this distance learning was very, very uncomfortable for me. And it was uncomfortable for the kids. And they had a hard time equating doing schoolwork at home because home time before was kind of, you know, not schoolwork. So we had to have a conversation of like, look it, this is what we're choosing. It's different for both of us. We both have to get used to a different rhythm in the day. I have to get used to having you guys around, and I'm not your maid. I made it very clear, I'm not your maid. And they were responsible for making their own lunch. Like, that was something that worked for me, that I chose. So I made sure to have stuff in the fridge that they could easily make their own lunch with and clean it up, because I wasn't going to be coming in from doing what I do for work, the horses and chores and stuff, to cleaning up after their lunch. No. If you are old enough to make your sandwich, you are old enough to clean up your sandwich. And I really demanded that of them. And they wanted to do distance learning. So they were like, okay, they stepped up and they cleaned up after themselves. And then what else happened is they started learning about managing their own time. They both wanted to be done school by the end of April. And so I sat down with them. We looked at all the units, all the lessons. In order to be done at this time, this is what you need to do every day. We broke it down to months and weeks and days. And they're like, okay, cool. And they got done by the end of April. So we had then we go into seating. And Trace played baseball last year. So normally baseball is really crazy with seating, but we were done school. So it was just so much easier to handle everything. And the freedom was huge. And I actually really enjoyed it. Like, when I got over my resistance and reaction, I had to have a strong talk with myself too. I had to say, Catherine, look at this. Now, what really strengthened me was that the energy of what this choice was creating for our future was so expansive. It was so great. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, in Access Consciousness, if you've ever taken a bars class, getting your bars run allows you to release energies and make choices like clearly, you know, what's going to create the greatest. Hey, Vicky, how are you? And so anyway, in a bars class, you learn this question. Like, how do you choose? You know, every choice you make creates a future, a different future. So the question that I asked is, truth, what will my life be like in 5 years if we choose a distance learning program for our kids and have them at home more? And it was really, really light. Like light meaning it was exciting, the energy was expansive. So that's the energy of the future that this choice will create. And truth, what will our life be like in 5 years if we don't choose this? And it was heavy. It made me want to puke, actually. Heavy meaning it's a contractive, solid, sometimes I always frown. Like my face gives it all up. When it's heavy, I frown. When it's light, I'm like... Anyway, if you'd like to learn how to use, I mean, you can just take that tool right now and start using it in your life, but it was so light to do distance learning. So I chose it. And that first month, I was still working through the resistance and reaction. And I had to have very strong talks with myself. Tell myself to stop it. You're choosing this. It's creating a greater future. Stop it. And then I had to ask, what's actually going to work? And then that's when it came about with the lunch thing and the kids had to clean up. And then that started making it better, or like greater for both of us. You know, I had to acknowledge what wasn't working and ask what was working. And I mean, now there's no masks in school. Like they could totally go back. But over the summer, Helena kind of thought about it. And then she's like, no, I want to do distance learning. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now there's these other things in my life, like in our lives, that have kind of materializing, or that I'm asking for, that makes distance learning way more attractive, like traveling again, you know. I like have this really crazy ask to travel to California with my horse for not this winter, but next winter for like a month or 2 months to train with my dressage coach down there, because she goes to California and she's from Edmonton area. Like that would be cool. And it's totally possible because Helena could come with me with distance learning. Totally possible. Travis and Trace they could come down for a little bit if they wanted to, or they could not. Like that actually became a possibility via choosing a distance learning program. Now, again, it's not the be all end all. If Helena did want to go back to school next year, I mean, she could, and then she could stay home in the winter, and she could probably, you know, Travis would be here, or she could stay with, you know, we would figure it out. That doesn't feel very exciting though. So anyway, I was wrong. I was wrong that I would never, ever do distance learning with my kids and have them at home. I was wrong about that because I chose it. I was a liar. And I was wrong to think that I would never enjoy it, because I actually really do. Anyway, so what are you wrong about? You know, is there something in your life that you are in resistance and reaction to that you think would never change? And what if it could? And are you willing to discover the change, to allow it to change? I wonder. So all it takes is a choice, and then to really be strong with yourself after that. If it gets uncomfortable and feels weird, keep going. Okay. I'm so grateful for you guys joining me. Thank you so much. And on another side note, like, you can't look to other people to choose what works for you. You're unique. You're you. Your family is your family. Your kids are your kids. They're not anybody else's. So you what would it take for you to discover what works for you and what is going to create that greater future for you? Simply because I am choosing this, that does not mean that it's greater for you. So don't judge yourself. If you're judging yourself, like, stop it. Thanks. You're welcome, Vicky. Don't, like, you have to, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Stop judging yourself. There's no secret formula. There's just choice. And what is going to create greater for you? And how do you know that is by asking those questions. Truth, what will my life be like in 5 years if I choose this? Hello, Mona. And truth, what will my life be like in 5 years if I don't choose this? And tap into the energy. Oh, and get your bars ran. Like, Access Bars is amazing. Get your bars ran. I'm running a set of bars today for my dad. I'm very excited about it because when I run somebody's bars, my bars also run. So, anyway, cheers. Have an amazing day wherever you are, whatever you're up to. We will chat later. Bye-bye for now.